a sense of community when you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. Today's guest is in Alberta. He is an actor, a writer, and an artist. I'm sure there's more to do than that. Like a lot of people are multi-talented. Time to meet Jamie Pruden. Did I pronounce your name right, Pruden?
Absolutely, you sure did.
Welcome to the show, Jamie.
Hi, Nancy. Thanks for having me.
For sure. Okay, so I want to start, if you don't mind, with the acting. Stage, film, TV, which? Oh.
I've done a bit of it all, kind of thing, but not in very large scale. In high school, that's what I started out wanting to do, and life just kind of took me in another direction. But I did go to school for theater, and when I left school, I was involved in local theater in Edmonton. Through Theater Network, I participated in a thing called Theater Sports, which was a game of improv.
Yes, I know it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then and that was back in the mid '80s to the latter part of the '80s. So I was in there when Kathleen Rootsart, Wes Borg, and Joe Bird, Donovan Work, and all of these people, Dana Anderson, all of these people were involved with it back when I was in.
Very good. I did improv for a number of years. I loved improv.
Oh.
Absolutely loved it.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, a great learning tool too.
Yeah. Well, I did stand up before I did improv.
Okay.
I loved improv so much more because, first of all, you didn't have to remember any of your jokes, and then you're feeding off of other people, right? So
yeah,
totally different energy. Now, tell me about your writing.
Well, when I left improv, I kind of segued over into stand-up, and so I was doing stand-up with Yuck Yucks for the latter part of the '80s and early '90s.
Okay.
And that's where I had started dipping my pen in water to start writing. And I didn't really do a lot with writing after that. I took a little bit of hiatus from entertainment. And then after a 4-year hiatus from it, I went back into it with a comedy hypnosis show, and was touring that until present day. I still do that. But when I first got into the hypnosis shows, I was in 1997, and there were more hypnotists in Edmonton alone than there were in all of Canada. There was over 40 some odd hypnotists were everywhere. But most of these hypnotists were all doing the same type of show. They were all former magicians. And back in the latter part of the '90s, when that guy got on TV wearing that mask and told you how all the magic tricks were done, it put a lot of magicians out of work. And so they all switched over to doing hypnosis shows. And the style of comedy, being a former comedian, you probably understand this. Style of humor that a lot of magicians have is sort of what I call segue humor. If they're doing tabletop magic, and I'm not knocking this. If there's any magicians out there, I'm not knocking this. It is a form of comedy. But what they would do, like if they were doing tabletop magic, they would tell you a comedic little anecdote that segued into the next trick that they were going to do. And that was how I found they were doing a lot of their hypnosis shows, were all done in this, let me tell you a funny little anecdote, and then on the count of 3, you're going to do this kind of thing.
Right.
And I really wanted to come in with something different. And that's when I got the writing bug back in and just hit the drawing boards of how I could come up. I knew the formula of the show. Just how can I put it together in a unique way? And so instead of a magician's formula to the show, I did it from the improv and stand-up comedy way. So I would start my shows doing a bit of stand-up comedy, and And then all throughout the show, a lot of the show was based off of improv. I would, instead of how on the count of three, you can do this, on the count of three, you can do that, I'd start doing like sketch comedy and have everybody on stage acting out skits. And certain things throughout the skit would trigger a suggestion that they would start performing in there. So that was the second way that I got into doing the writing. And then after that, I got involved with Brimstone Pictures at Rutherford Manor. And they were doing some comedy shorts. So I did some writing for that. And out of that, I ended up on my own coming up with 2 screenplays that I wrote as well, too.
Wow, that's awesome. Wow, cool. And how do you learn to be a hypnotist?
Quite easily, unfortunately. I don't mean, I say unfortunate because what we do is harmless. There are harmful forms of hypnosis, like regression and stuff like that, that shouldn't be done by anybody unless they're licensed and trained.
Right.
But the thing is, like, I'm not a licensed hypnotist. I'm self-taught. I had a hypnotherapist come into our grade 12 Psych 30 class, and I was just fascinated by it. So I spoke with the gentleman after the classroom, and he told me where I could write to get the books to read up on it. And I was the Gilles Boyne Institute out of Los Angeles. And so I wrote, and they sent me the books. I read the books, and that's how I learned. And I found out when I was going in to do the stage shows, there's no licensing required to practice hypnosis. It's not a proven science, so there's no licensing required for it. And because it's quite easy, once you get the gist of how it works, it's very simple. But there's a lot of people that watch what we do. They come show after show after show and then watch it. And then, well, I think I get how this works, and go out and do it. Kind of, in a way, gives, well, you've been involved in entertainment.
Yeah.
And so you know what I mean when some people don't go through the proper routes to
Absolutely
study what they're doing and, honor the craft, so to speak, and come out with shows that have no training, no stage training, no theater training, and if they go into a venue, and I don't mean to sound negative here at all, but I've lost many a gig just by approaching, would you like to have a hypnosis? Or, oh God, no, we had a hypnotist in here and it doesn't work. Nope.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, when I was young and starting out in the entertainment industry, my first job out of high school, I was managing the entertainment division for West Edmonton Mall. And one of the operation managers for the park, and these are very professional men, gave me an ounce of advice that I've held on to over the years. And that was, if you do something half-assed, it will look half-assed.
Right. One of the things I was wondering about is, like, when you are doing your hypnotist on, you got your people on stage or whatever, did you have any moments that were really challenging for whatever reason?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. There's times where you go and do shows in small towns, for example, and the embarrassment factor is a lot higher in a small town. Everybody knows everybody. And I think that's just, as a professional, that's how you know to conduct yourself. Doing comedy yourself, when you walk up on stage, you can kind of scan the audience and know this joke will work, this joke won't work, this joke could work, this one's not appropriate. I don't know, do you remember Squatch? The big, tall comedian guy. He went by the name Squatch.
Name is familiar, but I don't remember anything.
I think he was actually the Kokanee Sasquatch on TV. But I remember doing a show once in Edmonton, one of my stand-up gigs. And this was when I was just starting out doing stand-up. I think it was like my my second paid gig. And it was I went and did this show, and the guy that booked me had saw me the week prior at Yuck Yucks, and said this would be perfect. This would be perfect. And he saw my routine, and but it wasn't perfect. I walked up there and I used to go out on stage and personify a really old person and tell really old humor kind of thing. And the room turned out to be a room full of senior citizens, old people. And I started laying this routine. You could hear crickets in a pin drop.
Oh.
And it was Squatch that actually came out on stage and actually cut my set short. Went, okay, let's hear it for Jamie. And kind of the hook and yanked me off the stage. And afterwards he was talking to me and he said, Jamie, always have a Disney set. Always have a Disney set. So in going into some of these small towns, there's some of these people, to get back to the question you asked me, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. There's been towns I've gone to, and I've learned over time to know to have tact when I'm performing. Like people may want an adult show or an X-rated show, and I've gone into small towns and the bars are going, X-rated, I want an X-rated show. Sure. But I know a reeled in. I know how to do a reeled in, like reel it in, Jamie. of an adult show that's good enough for a small town that doesn't degrade or humiliate or horrify people, kind of thing. But I've gone into towns and asked for volunteers to come up on stage, and it was like pulling teeth to get volunteers to come up on stage, because they've had someone come through that just didn't hold back. They laid on a hardcore show and embarrassed a lot of people, and ended up with one person go under. So I think that's challenging.
Yeah.
When to do a show with one person, a lot of times too, they don't react as strong as, because they're not blending in with a stage full of people. So you're aware of everything when you're hypnotized. And so I think they're still a little bit nervous and everything. So those are challenging shows. And when it's just one person, after a while, do this, it becomes monotonous.
Yeah.
And you have to know, and that was where the improv and the stand-up comedy end of it helped me. So I knew I could, okay, well, we've had some fun with these people, but I got to break it up a bit. So I would turn and face my audience, and I would entertain the audience for a bit, give this person a break and not make it all about just abusing this one person on stage. And stand and turn around and do a bit of shtick, do a bit of stand-up, do a bit of improv, chat with the audience, and then go back to this person.
I would just think that would be very entertaining. I think much more entertaining, right?
I've actually had a lot of people come up after the show and shake my hand, and like, we knew that was a tough show, but you know what? That just shows like what a true entertainer can be.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry. It's like the improv team I was on, there would be somebody who would come to all of our shows, pretty well all of our shows, and she always wanted to volunteer. She was terrible when she'd get up on stage, So we would try to, at first we didn't know what it was going to be like, but afterwards, like, how can we avoid having her come up on stage? It was just terrible. She would, well, whatever game you want that person to add something. So ask a question or respond to something, like you're telling a story, and each of the players has somebody beside them, and you would turn to that person and give you a word, and she would say it or the, it's like, oh my gosh. It was pretty funny. When you think of it afterwards, it's very funny. But I want to also, now more importantly, I want to talk about your art, because it says you're an artist at Fantasy Art.
Well, Pruden Art is the name of my company.
Okay.
Yeah. I had a Facebook page called Fantasy Art by Jamie Pruden, but I don't use that page anymore. I do have because now I've branched into acting and my Sebastian Steele show and and the art and writing and stuff like that. So I put out a Facebook page that's just Jamie Pruden, artist, actor, entertainer. And then, because I used to have a Facebook page, it was Sebastian Steele, and he had his own Facebook page, and then me, and then I thought, then having a page for J. Pruden Art, and every day I'd have to go to this page, and then over to this page, and then to this page, and keep updating. And I thought I'll just lock it all into one page, and then here's videos from a hypnosis show. Here's some art I've done. Here's some improv. Just keep it all on one page.
Yeah, for sure. But what type of art do you?
I do pop culture.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I do a lot of stuff from TV and movies, and I do a lot of sci-fi, fantasy art, stuff like that. A lot of horror genre art.
And what medium do you work with?
Everything you can think of. I love to challenge myself. I prefer working with pencil and graphite, and oil paints. I do chalk, I do charcoal, I do pen and ink, I do felt markers, I do watercolor, I do everything and anything you can put in my hands. I'll try and make something out of it.
Right. So where can people see your artwork?
Most of it is on Instagram. They're Jamie_Pruden_artist, and that's I don't use Instagram as a place to post my private life or that. It's all just my art. So it's just basically, when you scroll through it, my Instagram is just nothing but a gallery of my art.
Right. Now, what else do you do? I mean, I'm sure there's other things, because that's one thing I've learned about a lot of people who are multi-talented.
Like besides art and entertainment
and
such. I don't know. I think those are the three. I stick to just entertainment, art, and writing.
All right. So do you have anything coming up recently? Like, this is going to air on Friday.
Okay.
What's today?
Well, I'm going to be performing my hypnosis show in Glendon, Alberta. So anybody that's in the Bonnyville or Lakeland areas, I'm going to be in Glendon. Just 1 second here. Let me just pull that date up, because I hate to shout out a wrong date here. You're going to edit this, right?
No, I don't edit.
No.
Not my thing.
This is live.
Basically live, taped, but live. Yeah.
Okay, just give me 1 second here. I'm going to pull up the poster on my wall. So I just want to make sure that I'm not going to give a wrong date here. So it's going to be February 3rd. It's a supper and dance. It's the second annual. I did one last year as well, too.
Nice.
It'll be at the Glendon RCMP Century Hall. And tickets are $50 per person. Tables of 8. The doors open at 5:30. And the supper is done by the Glendon Catering Club. And I'm going to DJ afterwards. So I guess I DJ too.
So yeah, there you go. I knew there would be other things. So that's going to be your like improv and hypnosis show?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, great.
And this Saturday, I'm going to be in Edmonton at the Yellowhead Casino in the Pearl Room, competing in art battle.
And what is that like?
Art battle, they get 12 artists, and there's 3 20-minute rounds. So they get the first 6 artists in the first round. There's 6 easels in the center of the room, and everybody just circles around them. And there's a DJ, it's music, it's fun, it's licensed, everything like that. And in 20 minutes, we have to do an 18 by 24 painting.
Oh my gosh.
and then the audience votes on their 2 favorite artists of that round.
Okay.
And then the second set of artists, the second set of 6 artists, they do the same thing, round 2, 20-minute round. Everybody votes. And then the 2 favorite artists from round 1 and the 2 favorite from round 2 compete in round 3, and they have a paint off.
Wow. Have you done
and
that?
All of the art goes up for auction.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so you can walk home some great art.
Have you done that before?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've done it over the past 5 years. I've been competing in that.
Well, this is the first time I've ever heard of it.
Oh, you got to come then.
Yeah, it's a little ways out of my way. It would be fun to see though, for sure,
If they're ever near your area, I highly recommend going to check it out.
Oh, I
Uh,
would, sure, yeah.
the art that people come up with in 20 minutes, and everybody can pick whatever they want to do. So it's out of their own heads. So there's such a wide variety of creativity
Yeah.
and just amazing stuff that comes out of these people in 20 minutes time.
That's not a lot of time. Like, oh my God.
Oh, it's not. It's not.
Wow. But I think it would be so exciting to watch or to be
It
part.
is.
Probably more exciting to watch than be part of, I think, for me. I mean, I do work, but I'm very like amateur, But it's pretty cool though at the same time. So that's coming up. When we're finished here, I'm gonna have you message me all the proper dates and times. So
Absolutely.
I'll include that, but I just want to make sure I've got everything. Like I've made notes, but I probably misspell things. So spelling.
No worries. No worries. I'll send you a link to the art battle as well.
Oh, that'd be good too. Yeah, because spelling is just not my thing,
Mine too. As a writer, thank God for spell check.
Exactly. When I was in school, we had what our school called composition. I suppose you call them essays now. And
Okay, yeah.
in those days, spelling counted, and I used to lose marks all the time because of my spelling. And I thought it's just not fair. If you understand what I'm trying to say, that's all that should matter.
Yes.
But teachers didn't look at it that way.
No, they did not. I remember many a time getting the 0 just because he didn't like my perspective.
And that's not right either,
No.
Like I always like it. I've never had a teacher that would allow a person to be themselves, without trying to put them in this little box, right?
Mhm.
Like I'm oblong, I'm not square. I don't think oblong was not the right word, but anyway, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got these really great shows coming up. There's 2 of them anyway, events coming up, which is really, really good. And anything else for February?
No, that's about it. Just sitting at home and drawing.
Okay, all right, great. Well, we'll end it here. But just stay on camera. We're just on remind the audience you've been listening to Jamie Pruden from Alberta. I'm going to include his contact information. Well, you can find him on Facebook. And I'm going to get some of the dates for the events that he's going to be part of coming up this weekend and next month, early next month. So thanks everybody for watching the show. I sure hope you can continue to do so and like and share and subscribe, whatever you do. Take care, everybody, and peace out.
A sense of community, till the wax a place to be. A sense of community when you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me. It's multicultural, you're sure to see it all. Chilliwack's the place to be, you'll see. Come party in the park, go dancing after dark. Chilliwack's the place to be, you'll see.